All right, we've made it down here to the spruce trees, and this is a Norway spruce.
This is a Norway spruce. There's three types of spruce that I'm aware of. There are blue spruce, white spruce, and Norway spruce. The blue spruce is a very slow-growing spruce, so we don't try to grow it. The white spruce, we tried it once and didn't like it, so we got rid of it. The Norway spruce, it's a wonderful tree. If you look at this tree, we do very little shearing on this. I don't know if I talked about shearing earlier, but if a tree tends to grow too much in a year, which this one did, you can see we snipped it off. If it grows up 2 feet high, we have to shear it back to about this length to keep the tree thicker. We don't want it too loose. We want it to be just right. And so we actually cut the top, and then as a result we cut the sides. But we do very little of that on spruce trees because they grow naturally into this nice shape. White pine that we looked at earlier grows much faster, much looser, and so we have to cut a lot more off of them. So these trees just grow naturally on their own. And customers love them because the limbs are so strong.
Yes, they seem like they can support some pretty heavy
They
ornaments.
do. You can put really nice big heavy ornaments, and so that is another factor that people love about them. What I like about them is they're a tough tree. I don't get disease problems on a Norway spruce. They grow well in most soils. This particular field is a north slope. White pine and any other pines don't like a north slope because they don't get enough sunlight. They want to grow towards the sun. A spruce and a fir will grow on a north slope. They also don't mind clay. This hill is clay, and it will grow into clay. So it's a good, tough tree, and I really like the tree. The big disadvantage of the Norway spruce is that once they dry out, they'll drop every needle they have. And so if a customer puts it in their home, and it also draws a lot of water, so if they put it in their home and they don't water it at least twice a day, the water will get below the level of the trunk will skin over, and it won't draw water again. No matter what you do, you'd have to take it down and cut some off the trunk to get it to draw again. And so when that happens, the tree starts drying out, and when those needles turn dry, they'll just fall. On a fir and a white pine, that's not the case. They may drop some needles, but when they get dry, they'll still hold the needles. So this is one of the last years you'll see Norway spruce on our farm because of that issue. I don't want people disappointed saying our needles fell off before Christmas even got here. So we are eliminating these trees. We will sell these that we have in this field yet, but I had small ones planted. We cut them all down.
And so these are for next Christmas is when they'll be?
We were actually selling these this year.
Okay.
This tree is probably a 6-footer. Yeah, 6 foot tall. Most people want 6.5 to 7 foot, and so it hasn't been cut yet.
Okay.
This coming weekend it might get cut.
Okay.
People get less and less picky as they get later in the season. So it might get cut yet, but I kind of hope it doesn't because it'll make a beautiful 7.5 foot tree next year.
Definitely.
So the beauty of having a choose and cut farm is you can keep them. I have a bunch of pre-cut Frasers down here that are beautiful trees, but I have to sell those because they're gonna sit there and dry up. This can wait till next year.
So you said the pines are fast growing. So how long has this? When did you plant these? How long do they?
These are slower. This tree takes 8 to 9 years to get up to full growth, and that's another disadvantage. But when you plant them, when 8 or 9 years comes, you'll have most of these trees alive because nothing tends to kill them. They do well.
Yeah.
That's why I wish that someone would figure out what to cross this with so that it could make it not drop needles because it's a wonderful tree.
Yeah. Then you'd have the perfect Christmas
I'd have the
tree.
perfect Christmas tree. Now the young men that I hired to shake and net the trees, we take every tree and shake it to get any brown needles out, old needles, and then we put it through a netter. They hate them because they're sharp. Those needles are like sewing needles.
Yeah.
So it's pretty brutal on them. So they're glad to see them go.
And how about smell? These.
They have a nice smell, and they smell throughout the season. So they're nice in every way except needle drop.
Yeah. So we've seen the spruce and felt the sharp needles. So you want to go look at some firs and the softer needles?
Sure, let's do that.